Hi folks, hope you're okay today. This is about J.D. Kain, an atheist. We're going to just listen to him a second. The reason why I'm doing this I'll tell you in a second.
Them off their game. They stop focus firing you because they're like, oh, well, that's why they come up, that's why they accuse you of fallacy, because they're using the Tukloke fallacy. They're using it as, well, basically a red herring. They're like, well, no, let's keep this back on you. Let's now you're using a fallacy. We'll talk about how you're using a fallacy rather than me actually responding and having basically to admit that I can't solve this either other than to assert that I have. And the fact is, if they had solved it, philosophy departments all around the world would be giving them medals. That's not happening.
The fallacies, not just this one, but fallacies in general, are being used as a kind of distraction technique. It's like, look over here, and you're never given, I'm not given time to usually explain why they're wrong, why they're making these accusations. They just make a fallacy accusation and then swiftly move on to the next thing.
And ad hominem is another one that comes up a ton.
Yeah, well, anything that seems like vaguely critical of them, I guess, is an ad hominem. My phone's beeping. Anyway, I think I need to turn. So what else is on your mind today, JD? We can burn some time. Well,
the Tukloke is that just, Arcane has been, well, I should also point out that in his discussion, Run guy, I'm just going to call him Run from now on. Really corrects me. So I should invite him in here. He can come in and
Java guy.
Yeah, let's start with Run or Ran. And clearly worked as a scientist for some period of time. So he knows better. He is lying. There's just no way that he made this mistake on accident. He
moves the ad hominem weirdness. You know what I mean?
So Java guy and Arcane, they preach, in other words, right? I mean, that's really what this comes down to. Is if the doctor gives advice.
So anyhow, that's J.D. Kain with some of his mates. I just want to say that I was on a YouTube channel last night, Andy Jacks, and he's not an atheist. He believes the Bible, he believes the basics of the Christian faith, but he doesn't believe in heaven and hell like we do. His gospel is not the same. It's error. I'm sorry, Andy, but it is, because he believes that everybody's saved in the end, and not everybody's saved. There is a heaven and a hell. And the Bible's quite clear about that. Anyhow, Andy, I wanted to get to know Andy a bit more. I wanted to dialogue with him, and I said, let's talk about atheism and just bounce questions off each other like an interview, so people can see different sides to us. So he said, yeah. So I was delighted, because I just wanted to get to know Andy really, and see where his mind thinks and what he thought about atheism. So I went on his channel, and then within a minute some guy came on who said he wasn't an atheist, but he sounded pure quintessential atheist to me, and he was bombarding us with questions, and Andy with questions, and Andy was answering them. I didn't get a chance to answer because he was just throwing these questions out. And then J.D. Kain came on, and he right off the bat he said truth is that which comports to reality. And I pulled him up on it, because I know in academic philosophy that there are different definitions of truth. And I said a definition of truth that I was incorrect in that definition. I felt I was, and I needed to clarify what I was talking about. So I got Lycona's book, The Resurrection of Jesus, and I quoted the correct definition of truth that I was trying to talk about, and show that there are different understandings of truth. J.D. Kain would have none of it, talking over me, going on and on and on. And he was just really quite aggressive, quite rude, quite arrogant in his manner. The other guy was joining in. And it was just like two hyenas looking for fundy flesh. And in the end, I just said to Andy, you want to mute them because we can't get a word in edgeways here. It's just ridiculous. And I said to him, if your position is true, your atheism is true, they say, oh well, how can you say that? That's that's not a good idea. That's not a good definition. And that's incorrect. I said, well, if your position is true as atheists, well, why do you feel the need to control? And then that calmed him down a bit. So I thought, well, he's asked us questions, the other guys asked us questions, let's put it on them, let's put them on the spot. And I asked him a question about what is the law of non-contradiction. And the guy wouldn't answer me. And he said, oh, you're being condescending and all that, and he was going into all these ad hominem attacks on me as a person. And I said, look, just answer the question. And he would not answer the question. In the end, I wouldn't let it go. I said, answer the question. He made some silly statement about bunny rabbits and stuff, and I thought, I'm not going to let him go on this. Answer the question. In the end, he answered the question. And he failed to define what the law of non-contradiction was. And I had to correct him, and I had to give him the full definition of which he wasn't aware of. What it shows me is that people like J.D. Kain, people like many of these atheists on the internet, when you present them with some basic academic thinking in an area, whether it be historical Jesus studies or philosophy, they really don't know what they're talking about. They're okay talking to themselves, they're okay ganging up on a Christian apologist. But when you actually sit them down and when you actually try to engage them, they're very, very weak. They're very, very incapable. They're able to deal with you if they are able to train for hours and hours on end. I mean, John McDropout did a good job talking to me on Immanuel Kant, but the guy had to train and train and train and train to get his mind on the same level as me on Kant. You can see that. I mean, he'd obviously kept playing Kant on VivaBox while he was at work for hours and hours and hours and hours. And only then was he able to keep at the same pace as me from an academic point of view on Kant. And that's a very, very rare occasion. Most of the time, these atheists will gang up on you on Google Hangouts. They will bully you, and then, just to make them look as if they're nice, they'll bring in Christopher Mount, who kind of is the Marilyn Monroe of atheism. You know, he just sings happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday dear theist, happy birthday to you. He just comes in with this sickly, gooey kind of Marilyn Monroe, I'll snuggle up to you kind of attitude, and then everybody thinks, oh, the atheists are lovely on the internet. So they kind of bring this guy in when they've roughed the theist up. And then the other tactic they do is they get these so-called Christians who are Catholics or Greek Orthodox, who haven't got a clue about Christianity, and are mixed up themselves, and they're on these Google Hangouts with them, and they're saying, look, we're talking to the Christians, and they're just mixed up people who actually agree with this kind of atheism that roughs people up, and it's just a joke. The point is, I was minding my own business, talking to a guy who's not an atheist and is Jack, and two atheists jumped the hangout. They were aggressive. One of them is highly regarded as highly intelligent amongst the atheist community, but he came across as aggressive, rude, arrogant, unqualified, unable to articulate some of the basic elements of academic philosophy, unable to engage on a basic level in logic, and you're just laughable as an atheist community on the internet. The only thing that you're doing at the moment is ganging up on people and bullying people. That's all you ever do. All you ever do is create drama, and then you have your secret weapon. If you lose a debate, then you start to take things out of YouTube into the real world and start to do things that are horrendous. Not even your own mother would approve of the kind of things that you would do outside of YouTube. And I was minding my own business. I was not quoting atheism. I was just talking about atheism with a friend, and they tried to jump us, and they wouldn't engage in a proper academic way. So basically, if you can't hack it, you're just living you're living in a dream world, You're engaged in cyberbullying. You're engaged in what I can only describe as force feeding people your position. You lack any academic acumen. You don't give any references to what you're saying. You use big words like Aussie, but if he was actually put on the spot and debated, he would lose the debate because he's only pretending to be something that he's not. And that goes for all these atheists on the internet. You are probably the most pathetic group of people on the internet, intellectually speaking. You are a complete joke. You're a complete bunch of losers, and you just need to give up. Just pack it in and stop bullying people. I mean, that was just pure 100% J.D. Kain bullying. But when I cornered him, in the end, the bully was found out to be a mouse who had nothing to back up. You can't hack it. You've not got the academic scholarship. You haven't got the ability to debate in a fair academic way. So if you can't hack it, if you can't deal with that, then admit it and give up. Okay? Just admit, J.D. Kain, and give up. And take the smarmy smirk off your face. Because you was asked very clearly, what is the law of non-contradiction? And you was not able to give the proper definition. And that shows how idiotic you are. Okay? So I would ask the atheist community to leave me alone. If you're not capable of academic discussion and debate, please don't jump any Google Hangouts that I go on, because you're a waste of time. I prefer the atheist on the ground at the universities. Highly intelligent, nice people. Love them. Great people. Guys in Liverpool, great people. Highly intelligent, 100% respect. Guys that I've seen and girls around the UK that I talk to as atheists on the ground, they're great. But the people on the internet, they're not representing you well. They're highly anti-intellectual, involved in sinister plots, sinister drama, rather than actually getting involved in academic discussion and debate. And we saw that the other day, last night, with Andy Jack. J.D. Kain comes on. Does he engage in a high academic way? No. He comes in with his bullying, aggressive tactics. It would be nice if Andy Jack would actually upload the video so people could see for themselves. Alright? But I don't know why he's not. That's what I think anyway. So take care and just leave me alone. Stop your cyberbullying, underhanded, jump the Google Hangouts methodologies. If you don't want to debate in an academic way, then just leave me alone. I won the debate years ago with you. I beat you years ago on the historical Jesus studies. You were completely destroyed as an atheist community online. You were demolished. So just leave me alone. You were finished, you lost, and that's the end of it. So just go away, okay? You lost it. You never was able to deal with the scholarship. You lost it, you ran away, and then engaged in the most horrendous tactics known to internet. And that's what you did. So just go away and leave me alone. If you can't hack it academically, leave me alone. Don't jump any Google Hangouts that I go on and try to bully me. Because when I ask you questions, you can't handle it. Just like J.D. Kain. I mean, it would be lovely if we could see the video when he was cornered at the end and he was just absolutely demolished and shown to be made a complete ignoramus. But all that time he was just bullying all the time in that video. Alright, take care and God bless. Alright, if you can't hack it academically, leave the field, okay? And Aussie and all these people who were going on there, you know, they've never been tested. Right? None of these atheists have ever really been tested. Because if I was to be able to test them, they would lose debates. They've lost the debate on the historical Christ. So just go away. I don't want to know, okay? I'm happy talking to people on Google Hangouts. So don't try and follow me around, alright? Thank you.